Hi and welcome back. In the last couple of videos, we've been talking about the basics of HTML. And in this video, we're actually going to continue that, and we're going to talk about the topic of creating hyperlinks or links between different pages in our website, links to pages outside of our website, and also links to documents such as PDF files. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and open up my index page here, and you can see I've already got a div set up to hold my page navigation. So I'm going to go ahead and click at the end of that H3 line just to give, and then hit enter just to give myself another line to place my links on. Now, hyperlinks or links didn't used to be called links. Back when HTML first was developed, links were actually called anchors, like a boat anchor. Don't worry about why they were called anchors. That's not important. Just know that they were called anchors. And that's led to a little bit of confusion because, again, up to this point, most of the tags that we've worked with have been very self-explanatory. H1 is a heading level 1. A P tag is a paragraph tag. Div is short for division. But links, or page links, don't use the link tag. There actually is a link tag, but we don't use them for hyperlinks. We use an A tag for anchor. So one of the first things that people sometimes get confused on when they're working with HTML is getting the link tag confused with the anchor tag. Whenever you think about hyperlinks that you click on, you're always working with an A tag, short for anchor. So I'm going to go ahead here and type an A tag here, and I want to create this navigation so that I can easily copy and paste it onto my other two pages, about and contact. So I'm going to create a spot for welcome, and then I'm going to create a link to about, and then I'm going to create a link to contact. So we now have 3 links on this page. When I save it and go ahead and look at this page in a browser, you can see there's welcome, about, and contact, but we have a problem. When I click them, nothing happens. As a matter of fact, when I point at them, I don't get that hand-shaped cursor you get when you actually point at a link like we do down here. I just get this text cursor like I do when I point to just regular text. So my links aren't working right now. And the reason for that is I haven't actually put into the code the page that should open up when I actually click that item. And to do that, you need to include an attribute in your A tag. And again, remember, attributes from the last video are always formatted like this. You have the name of the attribute, an equal sign, and then the value of the attribute inside of quotation marks. Now, the ID attribute allows you to give a name to a particular element. In this case, we're giving the banner div an ID. In the case of the A tag, when we want to create the target for the link, we're not going to use ID. We're going to use the attribute href. So we do href equals quote. And one of the nice things about Dreamweaver is all the time-saving tools that it's going to provide you. And one of them is this browse option here that comes up as soon as I type that quotation mark. Again, you can kind of watch me do this again. If I do href equals quote, then browse comes up. And I can either click that or just press enter. And when I do it, this select file, this browse dialog box is going to come up. I can simply click the page I want to link to and then click OK. And you'll see it put the name and the closing quotation mark in there. And I can do that for each one of my pages. Or I'm sorry, each one of my links to my pages. So href equals quote, quote, and then either click on browse or just hit enter and then select the name of the page and click OK. And we'll go ahead and save that now. And I'm going to preview this in my browser. And now you can see when I point at these links, I get the little hand-shaped cursor instead of that text cursor. And when I actually click the link, it takes me to the appropriate page. Welcome doesn't do anything because I'm already on the welcome page. And I'm using the back button when I go to contact because I haven't put those links on that page yet. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this whole block here, this whole div for nav, and copy it using edit copy or control C. Oops. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into the about page. And I'm going to go ahead and just paste in that code. I'm going to go to the contacts page. And again, I'm going to paste in that code. Save both of those. And then we'll go ahead and preview this again in a browser. And this time when I go to about, you're going to see, well, there's that page navigation, so I can go directly to contact or welcome. I can go wherever I want on this. So very easy to create links. Now, one difficulty that sometimes comes up is when people are creating a link to a page that's not in the same folder as the page that's linking to it. Right now, Index is linking to both About and Contact, but they're in the same folder in my local root folder here. But what if I created another folder? And I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this here. Save that. You didn't actually have that on there. I'm going to create another new folder and I'm going to call it Sample. And inside of the sample folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it products.html. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up and delete all that boilerplate text that Dreamweaver puts in there for me because I don't need it right now. And I'm just going to put a real quick H1 in here and do products. And then I already have copied my navigation. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in there. And we'll save that. And you can see I haven't adjusted these links at all. They're still the same as on these pages. And what if I wanted to create a link to products? If I did a products, I'm creating the anchor link. But then if I just do href equals quote and type in the name of the page, we didn't do that before, but you could have just simply typed in the name of the page. When we try that in a browser, you're going to see it says web page was not found. And that's because products is not in the same folder as these three pages are. It's in a folder called sample. So you need some way, or you need to tell the browser to go into the sample folder and there find the products page. And the way you do that is inside of the quotation marks, you type the name of the folder and then a slash. And then the name of the file. I'll save that now, and we'll take a look at this in Chrome. And now I'll try products, and you'll see it actually takes me to that page. We still haven't corrected the links on this page, so those still don't work. But on our main page, our products page now works. And again, one of the valuable tools inside of Dreamweaver is the fact that you can use this browse option here. And instead of having to know how to type all that out, if you click browse, you can then just go into sample and click on products and then click OK, and you'll see it'll put the correct path in there for you. So while it's important to understand the way this path works, that browse option will take care of the extra typing for you. So let's go ahead and save that. And now let's go ahead and go into the products page right here. And I've got index, about, and contact here. And let's preview that in our browser. And again, when I click on that, it's going to say web page is not found. And that's going to be true for each one of those links. And again, the reason for that is the fact that it's looking for index.html in the same folder as products. It's looking for index.html in sample. Well, index.html isn't in sample, it's in the folder above sample. So we saw how to go into a folder. How do we go out of a folder to the folder above it? And the answer is you're going to put 2 periods and a slash. And again, if you're using that browse option, when you select the page, and again, I'm taking for granted that everybody in here has worked with some sort of an open dialog box before, and you know how to work with this drop down here and the up one level button or the back button to navigate through files. But when we select the file and click OK, you'll see it put that item in there for me. We'll go ahead and save that, and again preview this in a browser. Here I am on my products page, and now when I go to welcome, it goes to the correct page. So those links all now work. But that browse is going to be your friend and make sure that the links all work. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And we're back here inside of Dreamweaver. So now what if I want to create a link not to my website, not to a page in my website, but to another website? Like, let's say I want to create a link to my homepage at Timothy Training. Well, that's also very easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and again give myself an extra line there, and I'm going to go ahead and do an A tag. This is Timothy Training. And then I'm going to go ahead and do href equals quote. Now, the browse option won't be as helpful here for you because the page that we're looking for is not in our website. So what you have to do is you need to just type the full web address of the page that you want to go to. And alternately, you can also copy and paste the link from a browser into this spot. But I need to put the full address starting with http:// www.timothytraining, that's the page we want to go to, .net. And I'll go ahead and close my quotation mark and save it. And now when I go into my browser, you'll see there's a link for Timothy Training. When I click it, I go to my actual website. And if I hit the back button, I'll go back to my original web page. So creating a link to an external site, exactly the same process as creating a link to a page within your site. The only difference is you go ahead and type in the full web address. And if you were to want to create a link inside of that page and just not, or inside of this site and not just to the home page, one thing that you can do is click on the page you want, highlight in your browser bar right up here the full link, right click and copy it, and then go back into Dreamweaver and paste that in. And it'll put the full link into the href attribute for you. So again, you won't have to do all that typing. You can just simply do a copy and a paste. And let's go ahead and open this up in my browser, and you can see it went to that internal page instead of to my home page. So very easy to create a link to an external site. Exactly the same process as to an internal page, just the hyperlink reference is going to be written a little bit differently. Now, another thing that people frequently want to do with links is they want to have the link open up a new browser tab or a new window. And you can't actually control whether it opens a new window or a new tab. That depends on the visitor's browser settings. But you can see here when I go to Timothy Training, it opens that page up in the exact same window. So I've got to use the back button to go back to my page. So what if I wanted it to open up, in my case, a new tab? That's very, very simple to do. Now, these first four items here, I want those to open in the same window because they're a part of my site. It's only this link to Timothy Training that I want to be different. And I'm actually going to take this extra text out of here so it just links to my home page. And what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to add another attribute called target. And when you type target equals quote, you're going to see again it's going to bring up some options for you. And again, these Dreamweaver tooltips, these Dreamweaver helps are going to really speed things up for you. And the option that you want, don't worry about these others here. The option that you want is blank. So I'm going to go ahead and select blank there. And there's actually an underscore before blank. And then we'll save this and we'll go into a browser. And now when I click on welcome or about or contact, you'll see it's still opening up in the same window. Let me go ahead and close that extra window there. Welcome, about, contact, products, still in the same window. But when I click on Timothy Training here, you'll see it opens up a new tab. So my site is still open and the new window contains the new site that I wanted to link to. So that target attribute allows you to create a new tab or a new window. And again, there are more details about using the target attribute and controlling how things open up. But the basic one that everybody looks for is the blank option to open up a new tab or a new window depending on your user's browser setting. And again, there are more details about that we'll talk about later on in the course. And I'm going to go ahead and close these items off here. And I'm going to go back into Dreamweaver. Now the last type of link that I want to show you how to create is a link not to a regular web page or to another website, but a link to a file. like a PDF document. That's a very common thing that people want to be able to do. How do I add a PDF document to my website and then create a link to that PDF document so that it opens up when somebody clicks on it? Well, I've gone ahead with Adobe Acrobat and created a sample PDF document. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize my window here, and you can see my desktop. And there's my sample PDF, and there's my website folder. What you need to do is you need to just copy or move the PDF document into your website folder. So I'm just going to drag that into my folder. And there it is right there. And then I'm going to go back into Dreamweaver. And remember, I talked about that refresh button. I can't see sample.pdf right now, but if I click refresh, everything will refresh, and there's sample.pdf. And I'm going to go ahead and again add another line here and create another anchor, another link to sample PDF document. And again, you could call that whatever you want. This is just the text that's going to create the link. And then I'm going to add the href attribute. And exactly like before, we're going to use the browse option here by either clicking on it or just hitting enter. And then we're going to select that PDF document. And you can see it put that in there exactly like it put a web page link in. There's no difference at all here. The only difference is the type of document, and this ends in .pdf, whereas this ends in .html. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we'll open this up in a browser window, and there's sample PDF document. When I click on it, now I'm opening up a PDF file instead of a web page. So very easy to accomplish that. And if you want the PDF document to open up in a different window, you just use the target equals underscore blank, just like we did with a web page. One other thing that I want to note right now about working with links before we finish our video and move on to the next one is you're going to notice when I have different paragraphs here or headings that these all appear on separate lines. But my links here, you're going to notice, are all on the same line. Anchor tags or A tags don't put a line break in the way paragraphs or headings or other tags do. It's possible to place these links on different lines, and there's quite a few different ways to do that. There's one very common way that we'll talk about later. But for right now, don't worry that these are all on the same line and that everything else appears on its own separate line. I'm going to show you how to correct that and make those links appear on different lines if you want to a little bit later on. So don't let that disturb you at all. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and talk about adding images to our web pages. And we're also going to talk about how to make an image into a link. So I'll see you in the next video.